Hey tubers, welcome back for another adventure, and I wanted to put a few minutes in on this Seized Sunl, what are they calling this piece of junk? A 110 ST. I did a little bit of research, and it probably really is known as a 110 ST or one lost, depending on how you want to read that. These are typically your $800-900 quads. It does have the 3-4 speed. I think it's a 4-speed up pattern. You know, automatic clutch, electric start, no backup Kickstarter or pull starter. These, once again, top starter, top electric start, dime a dozen motors. And if this motor is no good, you know, there are others. I think that one's an automatic, but there's a couple of others floating around the Hoard. So not a big deal to replace if that's what I want to put back into it. And what I want to do is, well, two things. First of all, I pulled the spark plug out, and let me show you what that looks like. See how it's all rusty? So I think this is weather seized. A couple of other things to note. It is not your typical quick lightning or, you know, or any of those brand names that they like to use, that the people from China like to use. So I think at some point this spark plug was changed, and if you guys remember, this thing has an Everlast battery in it, so at some point that too was changed, right? And what I want you to notice, a couple of things. First of all, I pulled the starter off, and when you do that, you want to be careful that the starter chain, the starter is chain drive, and you kind of want to see the way I have it looped around that screwdriver there. Hopefully you guys are able to see that, right? And you want to do that because if you just kind of drop it into the case as you're turning the motor over, the chain's going to get bound up, and then you can't tell if you're seized or if the timing chain is messing you up. To get the starter off, 1, 2, 3, and there were a couple on the other side that have to come off, 8mm. If you notice where the marking is on this, right, and I've turned it all the way so that it's locked up against that side. Now if I turn it back, right, it goes pretty easy, and I get it, right? You could see I just have a few degrees where it doesn't quite turn. And what I've also done is I've checked the valves, and if you watch the valve there, see how it's moving, and right, just barely as it closes, it locks up. And I believe, where is it? And I believe here, let's go, such that the intake valves open. Intake and exhaust never open at the same time. You know what, the exhaust valve seems, no, it's, you know what, I'm going to double check to make sure the exhaust valve is loose. I think it is though. Yeah, the exhaust valve is loose. So if I had to predict, if I pull the head off of this thing, there's just a little ridge of rust on the top. I'm at a decision point with this engine, and I could do one of two, well, to fix this engine it's got to come off, and to put a different engine on this bike, obviously I got to take that one off and smash a new one on. This thing does not seem to have reverse. That's more like the $1,000 quad. You typically go from $897 to $1,100 when you upgrade to, you know, 4-speed plus reverse. So, once again, this doesn't have reverse. What I'm thinking of doing, and let me know what you guys think. I have a pit bike engine. If you guys recall, I bought it. It was missing. It was the bottom end, the whole bottom end, but it had no jug, piston, head. It was missing all of that. It just so happens I have another pit bike engine, and if you guys remember the Speed Defies Gravity 125cc bike, that bike, the transmission was blown. The clutch worked good, first gear was good, second gear made a little bit of noise, third gear, if you were gentle and you eased the clutch out and just gave it gas gently, it would kind of pull a little bit. If you made it pull hard, the transmission would slip, right? It would grind, it would click. And fourth gear was just click city, right? You could barely put any strain on it and would click. So that one has a blown transmission. I'm debating whether I should pull those two engines out and create one out of it. I think this would be a pretty cool machine with a hand clutch. I mean, just picture, you know, as you're going through and kind of running it through the gears. I call this like a 3/4 size quad. It's not the little guy, right? This guy's the little guy. That little 70 is the little guy. This is more of a 3/4 size, right? I consider quads like this kind of full size. And then obviously as you start getting, this is starting to get to be, you know, full size, a little large, and this is starting to get full size, kind of extra large. And then even the newer ones come even bigger than that Kodiak, right? They're just huge. So I would call this more of a 3/4 size quad. So I'm thinking pit bike engine. Let me know what you guys think. But no matter what, I got to take this apart to get that thing freed up. If I manage to free it up, then I'm good. I can bring this engine back to life, though it doesn't really, at least it's got a 4-speed. It's a little something to ride around on. This thing's purely automatic. The good thing about it is I can let anybody drive it. This is this a Sunl or a Tao? I'm not quite sure what this thing is, but yeah, I'll probably keep this one as an automatic. I'm thinking hand clutch on this. Let me know what you guys think. I think it'd be fun with a hand clutch. I think it's not light. It's actually kind of heavy for what it is. But I think it'd be a blast to kind of, you know, drive about with the hand clutch. Let me know what you guys think. I want to thank everybody for dropping by to watch and comment and subscribe. Please remember to keep your feet down, your heads up, and get out there and enjoy each and every day. Bye now.